Have you ever felt the gentle whisper of the present moment calling to you? It is a quiet invitation, often lost in the noise of our busy lives. We spend so much of our time rushing from one task to the next, our minds filled with thoughts of what we need to do tomorrow or what we should have said yesterday. We are constantly living in the future or the past, rarely stopping to fully experience the here and now. This endless cycle of doing can leave us feeling drained, disconnected, and as if we are missing out on something truly important. The whisper is a reminder that there is another way to live, a way to find peace right where we are, in this very moment. It asks nothing of us but our attention. This whisper is the essence of mindfulness. It is not a complicated idea or a difficult practice reserved for experts. It is something we all have the capacity for. Think of a time you were completely absorbed in something beautiful, like watching a sunset paint the sky with vibrant colors, or listening to the sound of rain tapping gently on your window. In those moments, your mind was not racing with worries or plans. It was simply present, fully engaged with the experience. This natural state of awareness is the foundation of mindfulness. It is about returning to this simple, profound connection with the present moment again and again, with kindness and curiosity. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to carry that sense of presence with you throughout your day. What if you could bring that same focused, calm attention to the simple act of drinking your morning coffee, feeling the warmth of the mug in your hands and tasting the rich flavor? What if you could listen to a friend with your full attention, without your mind wandering off to your to-do list? This is the promise of mindfulness. It is not about emptying your mind or stopping your thoughts. It is about learning to be with them and with everything else in your experience in a more gentle and accepting way. It is about waking up to your own life. This essay is an invitation to explore that gentle whisper more deeply. It is a guide to help you understand what mindfulness is, why it matters so much in our modern world, and how you can begin to practice it in your own life. We will walk through simple, practical steps that anyone can take, no matter how busy or stressed you may feel. This is not about adding another task to your already long list. It is about discovering a way of being that can bring more peace, clarity, and joy into every moment. It is about learning to listen to the quiet wisdom that is always available to you, right here, right now. So, what is this thing called mindfulness? In the simplest of terms, mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment on purpose, without judgment. Let's break that down a little bit. Paying attention means consciously bringing your awareness to what is happening right now, both inside you and around you. This could be the sensation of your breath moving in and out of your body, the feeling of your feet on the ground, or the sounds you can hear in the room. It is a deliberate choice to focus your awareness rather than letting it be pulled in 100 different directions by your thoughts, worries, and distractions. The second part of the definition, on purpose, is equally important. Mindfulness is not something that just happens by accident, although we all experience moments of it naturally. It is an intentional act. It means you are choosing to bring your mind back to the present moment whenever you notice it has wandered away. This requires a certain amount of effort and commitment, especially at the beginning. It is like training a muscle. The more you practice intentionally bringing your attention back, the stronger your ability to stay present becomes. This purposeful quality is what transforms a fleeting moment of awareness into a sustainable practice that can change your life. The final, and perhaps most crucial part, is without judgment. This is where the real magic of mindfulness lies. As you pay attention to the present moment, you will notice all sorts of things: thoughts, feelings, physical sensations. The practice is to simply observe them as they are, without labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong. If you notice a feeling of sadness, you just acknowledge it. There is sadness here. If your mind is racing with anxious thoughts, you just notice. The mind is busy. This non-judgmental stance creates a space of acceptance, allowing you to relate to your experiences with more kindness and less struggle. Think of it like being a curious scientist observing your own inner world. You are not trying to change what you find or fix it or get rid of it. You are simply gathering information with an open and accepting attitude. This approach is profoundly different from our usual habit of constantly evaluating and criticizing ourselves and our experiences. By letting go of judgment, you begin to untangle yourself from the cycle of stress and reactivity. You learn that you can be with your thoughts and feelings without being controlled by them. This is the heart of mindfulness, a gentle, non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. This journey into mindfulness begins with a simple invitation, an invitation to be here now. It does not ask you to become someone different or to achieve a special state of mind. It simply invites you to show up for your own life, moment by moment. You do not need any special equipment. You do not need to go anywhere. And you do not need to set aside large chunks of time. You can begin right where you are, in this very moment. Take a breath. Notice the feeling of the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then gently leaving your body. That is it. That is a moment of mindfulness. It is that simple and that accessible to everyone. This invitation is not about adding another pressure or expectation to your life. In fact, it is the opposite. It is an invitation to let go of the pressure to always be doing, achieving, and striving. It is permission to simply be. In our culture, we are often celebrated for our ability to multitask, to juggle a dozen things at once. But this constant activity comes at a cost. It leaves us feeling scattered, stressed, and disconnected from ourselves and the world around us. The invitation to be here now is a gentle antidote to that frantic pace. It is a reminder that there is profound value in stillness, in simply being present with your experience as it unfolds. You might be thinking, but my mind is always so busy. I can't possibly be still. That is a very common and understandable thought. The good news is that mindfulness is not about having an empty mind. Thoughts will come and go, and that is perfectly normal. The practice of mindfulness is about noticing where your mind has gone and gently, kindly, guiding it back to the present moment. Each time you do this, you are strengthening your ability to choose where you place your attention. You are training your mind to be less reactive and more stable. It is a practice, not a performance. There is no such thing as a bad meditation. There is only the practice of beginning again. So consider this your personal invitation. You do not need to wait for the perfect time or the perfect circumstances to begin. You can start right now. You can take a mindful breath while you are reading these words. You can pay attention to the feeling of your feet on the floor. You can listen to the sounds around you without labeling them. Each moment is a new opportunity to accept the invitation to be here now. It is a chance to step out of the endless stream of thoughts and into the richness and aliveness of your life, just as it is. This is the first step on a path that can lead to greater peace, clarity, and well-being. We live in an age of unprecedented distraction. Our attention is constantly being pulled in 1,000 different directions by notifications, emails, social media feeds, and the 24-hour news cycle. Our smartphones, which were designed to connect us, often leave us feeling more disconnected than ever before. We can be in the same room with the people we love, yet each of us is lost in our own digital world. This constant state of partial attention has become the new normal, but it is not without consequences. It erodes our ability to focus deeply, to connect authentically with others, and to simply be present in our own lives. The need for mindfulness has never been more urgent. This culture of distraction is not just an external problem. It has seeped into our inner worlds as well. Our minds have become accustomed to jumping from one thought to the next, seeking the next bit of stimulation. This can make it incredibly difficult to find moments of quiet and stillness. We may find ourselves reaching for our phones out of habit, even when we do not have a specific reason to. This constant mental chatter can be exhausting, leading to feelings of anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. We are so busy processing information and reacting to stimuli that we lose touch with our own inner landscape, with the quiet voice of our own intuition and wisdom. Mindfulness offers a powerful antidote to this modern dilemma. It is a radical act of reclaiming our attention. By consciously choosing to focus on the present moment, we are pushing back against the forces that seek to hijack our awareness. Each time we practice mindfulness, we are training our minds to be more stable and less susceptible to distraction. We are creating an inner refuge of calm and clarity that we can return to, no matter what is happening around us. This is not about escaping from the world, it is about learning to be in the world in a more grounded, intentional, and present way. The urgency of this practice is not just about managing stress or improving focus, although those are important benefits. It is about something much more fundamental, the quality of our lives. Life is lived in moments. If we are constantly distracted, we are missing out on the very fabric of our existence. We are missing the smile on a child's face, the taste of our food, the feeling of the sun on our skin. By cultivating presence, we are choosing to fully inhabit our lives. We are choosing to be awake and aware for the precious moments we have. In a world that is constantly pulling us away from ourselves, the practice of mindfulness is a courageous and essential act of coming home. In recent years, the word mindfulness has become something of a buzzword. It's used to sell everything from coloring books to corporate wellness programs. And while the growing popularity of mindfulness is a positive thing in a lot of ways, there is a real danger that its true meaning can get lost in all the hype. Mindfulness isn't just a trendy relaxation technique or a quick fix for stress. It's not about achieving some kind of blissful detachment from the world either. Actually, the true heart of mindfulness is much deeper, richer, and way more transformative than the popular image might suggest. At its core, mindfulness is a profound way of relating to ourselves and to the world with greater wisdom and compassion. Mindfulness is really about seeing things clearly, just as they are. Our minds are constantly filtering our experiences through a lens of past conditioning, beliefs, and judgments. Most of the time, we rarely see the world as it is. We see it as we are. This can lead to a lot of suffering. We get caught up in stories about what's happening, instead of just experiencing it directly. Mindfulness practice helps us gently set aside these filters and see our thoughts, feelings, and sensations with a fresh, unbiased perspective. It's about cultivating a quality of awareness that's both clear and kind. Now, this practice isn't about becoming passive or unemotional. It's about developing a more skillful relationship with our emotions. Instead of being swept away by a wave of anger or anxiety, we can learn to ride the wave. We can acknowledge the emotion, feel it in our bodies, and watch as it changes and eventually passes, without getting lost in it. This gives us a real sense of inner freedom. We're no longer at the mercy of our fleeting emotional states. We can respond to life's challenges with more wisdom and less reactivity, making choices that are aligned with our deeper values, rather than just being driven by our immediate impulses. The true heart of mindfulness is also about connection. As we become more present and aware, we begin to notice the deep interconnectedness of all things. We see that our own well-being is tied to the well-being of others and of the planet. This can foster a sense of empathy, compassion, and responsibility. Mindfulness isn't just a solitary pursuit, it's a practice that can enrich our relationships and inspire us to act in ways that are more kind and compassionate. It's a path that leads not away from the world, but actually more deeply into it, with an open heart and a clear mind. It's a journey of waking up to the fullness of our shared human experience. There is a sacred truth that echoes through every heart. God's love is not reserved for a chosen few, but is poured out for all His children. Maybe you imagine faith as something only for the holy, the quiet, the ones who seem closest to heaven. But Jesus came for everyone. He walked among the broken, the busy, the weary, and the lost. The invitation to walk with him, to pray, to seek healing, is open to every soul, no matter your story or your scars. It doesn't matter your age, your job, your past, or your personality. God's promises are for you. Whether you're a parent praying for strength, a student searching for purpose, a leader longing for wisdom, or a grandparent holding on to hope, His Spirit meets you right where you are. The Holy Spirit breathes life into every heart willing to receive, offering comfort, peace, and healing. Faith is not about perfection. It's about opening your heart to God's presence, letting Him meet you in your ordinary moments. You don't have to change who you are to come before Him. He welcomes you just as you are. You don't need to earn His love or prove your worth. Through Jesus, grace is freely given. Prayer is not a ritual for the few. It's a lifeline for all, a conversation with the one who knows you completely and loves you endlessly. In every quiet moment, you can invite the Holy Spirit to guide your thoughts, to bring healing to your heart, to remind you of His promises. If your mind is restless, if your spirit is heavy, God's peace can settle over you like gentle sunlight, bringing calm and hope. If you're anxious or afraid, His love can quiet your fears and fill you with faith that you are never alone. God meets you in the middle of your day, in the middle of your mess, offering grace and new beginnings. The beauty of faith is its flexibility. It can be woven into every part of your life. You can set aside time for prayer, for worship, for stillness before God. Or you can whisper prayers as you go about your day, inviting Jesus into every moment. Even in the simplest tasks, washing dishes, walking, breathing, His Spirit is with you, reminding you of His nearness. Every step can be a prayer, every breath a reminder of His faithfulness. These small moments of faith, scattered through your day, can bring deep healing and lasting joy. So let go of the lie that you're not worthy, that you're not spiritual enough. God's arms are open wide. There is no right kind of person, only beloved children, each invited to walk in faith. This path of prayer, of healing, of hope is open to you, right now, just as you are. It's a journey of discovering God's heart for you, not striving to be someone else. It's about receiving His love, embracing your story, and trusting His promises. It's about walking together, lifting each other up, and letting the Holy Spirit lead us with grace and compassion. This is the gift of faith, a universal invitation from God through Jesus to every heart. His healing, His promises, His love, they are for you. In the constant noise of modern life, the promise of a quieter mind can feel like a pretty distant dream. Our heads are often so full of thoughts, plans, worries, and memories that finding just a moment of inner peace seems impossible. This mental clutter isn't just distracting. It can actually be a significant source of stress and unhappiness. We get caught in loops of negative thinking, replaying past mistakes, or worrying about future uncertainties. This constant inner monologue can really drain our energy and rob us of the joy of the present moment. We long for a sense of inner space, a place where we can rest from the relentless activity of our own minds. Mindfulness offers a practical and accessible way to cultivate this inner quiet. It's important to understand that a quieter mind doesn't mean an empty mind. The goal isn't to stop thinking altogether. Honestly, that's an impossible task. Instead, the goal is to change our relationship with our thoughts. Through mindfulness practice, we learn to step back and observe our thoughts as they arise and pass, without getting entangled in them. We begin to see them for what they are, just mental events like clouds passing in the sky. They're not necessarily true, and they definitely don't define who we are. Imagine your mind is like a busy train station, with thoughts constantly coming and going. Our usual habit is to jump on every train that pulls into the station, getting carried away to destinations of worry, anger, or regret. Mindfulness practice is like learning to sit on a bench on the platform and just watch the trains go by. You notice a train of thought arriving, you see what it is, and you let it depart without getting on board. As you practice this, you begin to experience moments of stillness and space between the thoughts. The station itself becomes a quieter, more peaceful place. This process of developing a quieter mind has some pretty profound benefits. It reduces the mental and emotional turmoil that so often comes with our thinking. It creates a space for clarity and insight to emerge. When the mind is less cluttered, we can see our situations more clearly and make wiser decisions. We become less reactive and more responsive. The promise of mindfulness isn't a life free from problems, but a life where we have the inner resources to meet those problems with a sense of calm, stability, and grace. It's the promise of finding a sanctuary of peace within ourselves, a sanctuary that's always available no matter how loud the world gets. Every great journey begins with a single step. The journey into mindfulness is no different. It begins with the simple act of planting a seed of awareness in the soil of your daily life. This first seed is not a grand gesture or a monumental effort. It's, a small, intentional moment of presence. It might be the decision to take 3 conscious breaths before you get out of bed in the morning. Or it could be the choice to put down your phone and truly taste the first sip of your tea. It is a tiny act of turning your attention inward and connecting with the present moment just for a brief time. This first seed is incredibly powerful. Even a few moments of mindfulness can begin to change your relationship with your mind and your life. It's a way of signaling to yourself that your presence matters. It's a declaration that you are willing to show up for your own experience, even in the smallest of ways. Like any seed, it needs a little bit of care to grow. This care comes in the form of repetition. By intentionally returning to these small moments of awareness throughout your day, you are watering the seed and helping it to take root. You are creating a new habit, a new neural pathway in your brain. It is important to approach this process with patience and kindness. You wouldn't plant a seed in a garden and then stand over it demanding that it grow faster. You would give it water, sunlight, and time. Similarly, when you plant the seed of mindfulness, you must be patient with yourself. There will be days when you forget to practice. There will be moments when your mind feels hopelessly distracted. This is all part of the process. The practice is not about being perfect. It's about gently beginning again, each and every time you notice you have wandered away. This gentle return is the water that nourishes the seed. This journey is not measured in hours of meditation, but in moments of awareness. It is a journey of 1,000 moments, each one an opportunity to come home to yourself. The goal is not to reach some final destination of enlightenment, but to be present for the journey itself. Each mindful breath, each moment of noticing is a victory. It is a step toward a life that is more grounded, more connected, and more alive. So be encouraged. Plant that first seed today. Take one conscious breath. Notice one sensation. That is all it takes to begin this beautiful and transformative journey. We spend a great deal of time and energy learning how to navigate the external world. We learn how to read maps, how to drive a car, and how to use technology to find our way. But, how much time do we actually spend learning to navigate our own inner world? Our minds and hearts, they're like these vast and complex landscapes full of thoughts, emotions, memories, and sensations. Without a reliable compass, it's honestly pretty easy to get lost in this inner terrain. We can get stuck in forests of worry, fall into canyons of sadness, or get swept away by rivers of anger. Sometimes we wander for years without ever truly understanding where we are or how we got there. Mindfulness is the practice of cultivating that inner compass. And here's the thing, this compass isn't something you need to acquire from the outside. It's a natural capacity that already exists within you. It's your own innate awareness. By learning to pay attention to the present moment without judgment, you're learning to read the needle of this compass. You begin to notice the subtle shifts in your inner landscape. You can feel the arising of an emotion before it completely takes you over. You can see a pattern of negative thinking as it begins to form. This awareness gives you a choice point, a moment of power where you can decide how to respond. This inner compass has two main components: attention and intention. Attention is the ability to direct your awareness to a specific object, such as your breath or a physical sensation. It's the practice of holding your mind steady, even when there are distractions. Intention is the why behind your practice. It's the gentle, kind, and curious attitude that you bring to your awareness. Your intention might be to understand yourself better, to be more compassionate with yourself, or simply to be more present in your life. This combination of focused attention and kind intention creates a powerful tool for navigating your inner world with skill and grace. As you become more familiar with using this inner compass, you begin to trust it more. You learn that you can rely on your own awareness to guide you through difficult emotional weather. You discover an inner source of stability and wisdom that is independent of your external circumstances. Now, this doesn't mean that you'll never feel lost or confused, but it does mean that you will always have a way to find your bearings, to come back to a place of inner balance and clarity. Cultivating this compass within is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, allowing you to journey through life with greater confidence, resilience, and peace. Our lives are largely dominated by a doing mode of mind. From the moment we wake up, our minds are busy planning, organizing, problem-solving, and achieving. This mode of mind is incredibly useful and necessary for navigating the demands of our daily lives. It helps us to get to work on time, to complete our projects, and to take care of our responsibilities. The problem isn't the doing mode itself, but the fact that we can get stuck in it. We can become so accustomed to constantly doing that we forget how to simply be. Sometimes we can feel like human doings rather than human beings, with our worth measured only by our productivity and accomplishments. This relentless focus on doing can leave us feeling perpetually dissatisfied. The doing mind is always focused on the gap between where we are and where we want to be. It's constantly analyzing, judging, and striving for something better. This can create a chronic sense of unease and a feeling that we're never quite good enough. We finish one task only to immediately move on to the next, with no time to savor our accomplishments or to simply rest. And honestly, this can lead to burnout, exhaustion, and a sense of being disconnected from the simple joys of life. We are so busy chasing the future that we miss the richness of the present. Mindfulness introduces us to a different way of operating, the being mode of mind. The being mode is not focused on changing anything or getting anywhere. Its primary intention is to be fully present with whatever is happening in the current moment, just as it is. It's characterized by an attitude of acceptance, allowing, and non-striving. When we're in being mode, we can experience the world directly, through our senses, rather than through the filter of our thoughts and judgments. We can feel the warmth of the sun on our skin, hear the sound of birdsong, or taste the flavor of a fresh strawberry, without the mind needing to analyze or comment on the experience. This shift from doing to being is fundamental and transformative. It's not about abandoning the doing mode altogether, but about bringing more balance into our lives. By intentionally cultivating moments of being throughout our day, we can learn to step off the treadmill of constant striving. We can find moments of rest, renewal, and contentment right where we are. This shift allows us to appreciate our lives as they are, rather than constantly wishing they were different. It's a profound act of self-care, and a gateway to a deeper sense of peace and well-being. It's the simple, radical act of allowing ourselves to just be. One of the most challenging and rewarding aspects of mindfulness is learning the gentle art of noticing without judgment. From a very young age, we're taught to evaluate and categorize our experiences. We learn to label things as good or bad, right or wrong, pleasant or unpleasant. This habit of judgment is so deeply ingrained that we do it automatically, without even realizing it. We judge our thoughts like, I shouldn't be thinking this, our feelings. It's weak to feel sad. and our physical sensations. This ache in my back is terrible. This constant inner critic can be a major source of stress and suffering. Mindfulness invites us to suspend this habit of judgment, even for just a few moments at a time. It asks us to adopt the attitude of a friendly, impartial observer of our own experience. When a thought arises, we simply notice it as a thought. When a feeling comes up, we simply acknowledge it as a feeling. We don't need to get caught up in the story behind it, or try to push it away, or berate ourselves for having it. We simply let it be there, creating a space of gentle acceptance around it. This is a radical departure from our usual way of relating to our inner world. This practice of non-judgmental noticing can be particularly difficult when we encounter unpleasant or painful experiences. Our natural instinct is to resist pain, to fight it, or to distract ourselves from it. Mindfulness teaches us that this resistance often creates more suffering than the pain itself. By turning toward our difficulties with a gentle, curious awareness, we can change our relationship with them. We can learn to be with our pain without being consumed by it. We can hold our sadness or anxiety with a sense of compassion, as we would hold a crying child. This doesn't necessarily make the pain go away, but it can transform our experience of it. Cultivating this non-judgmental awareness is a practice that requires patience and kindness. Your mind will continue to judge. That's just what minds do. The practice is to notice the judgment itself without judging the judging. You can say to yourself, there's the inner critic again, with a sense of gentleness and even a little bit of humor. Each time you do this, you're loosening the grip of your habitual patterns. You're learning to meet your own experience with an open heart. This gentle art of noticing without judgment is a profound act of kindness toward yourself, and it's the key to unlocking a deeper sense of inner freedom and peace. As we stand at the beginning of this exploration into mindfulness, it's helpful to have a glimpse of the journey that lies ahead. This essay is designed to be a clear and supportive guide, taking you step by step through the landscape of this transformative practice. We've begun here in this introduction by defining what mindfulness is in simple terms and touching upon its importance in our modern, distracted world. We've extended an invitation to you, a gentle call to be present in your own life, assuring you that this path is accessible to everyone, regardless of their background or personality. The seeds of awareness have been offered. In the parts that follow, we'll delve deeper into the heart of the practice. We'll travel back in time to understand the rich history and core ideas that form the foundation of mindfulness, exploring how these ancient wisdom traditions are profoundly relevant to the challenges we face today. We'll then move into the practical, real-world benefits that a consistent mindfulness practice can bring into your life. Through relatable stories and real-life examples, we'll see how mindfulness can significantly reduce stress, lift our moods, sharpen our focus, and enrich our relationships with others. The promise of a calmer, more fulfilling life will be made tangible. The journey will then become even more practical as we equip you with a toolkit of simple, beginner-friendly exercises. You'll learn step-by-step techniques that you can easily incorporate into your daily routine, whether you're at home, at your desk at work, or even commuting on a busy train. These exercises are designed to be accessible and effective, providing you with a solid foundation upon which to build your personal practice. We'll demystify meditation and show you that you already have everything you need to begin. This section will empower you to start experiencing the benefits of mindfulness for yourself right away. Finally, we'll address the real-world challenges of making mindfulness a lasting habit. We'll discuss common obstacles like a lack of time, a wandering mind, or feelings of doubt, and offer practical strategies and encouragement to help you stay motivated. The essay will conclude by bringing all these threads together, summarizing the key insights of our journey and leaving you with a final wave of inspiration. Our aim is to provide you not just with information, but with a felt sense of possibility. The possibility of living a life with greater presence, peace, and joy. The path is before you, and this guide is here to walk alongside you.